President Biden still trying to wish the world into war for some reason, despite the presidents of Ukraine and Russia both mocking his apocalyptic predictions. He says a major conflict between the two countries is about to break out. Watch.
We have reason to believe that they are engaged in a false flag operation to have an excuse to go in. Every indication we have is they're prepared to go into Ukraine, attack Ukraine. My sense this will happen within the next several days.
But what would Russian President Vladimir Putin have to gain from a big invasion? And why has he wasted a week? Here to discuss, director of the Libertarian Institute and editorial director of antiwar.com, Scott Horton is back. You look very diplomatic and regal tonight, Scott. Welcome back. Thank you. So you said it first. We had a lovely podcast where we talked about this, that, and all the other things. And you said Putin is not going to invade Ukraine. You laid out your reasons. And I said, you know what? Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than Putin invading Ukraine and starting a war, which doesn't behoove him, does it?
I don't think so. He certainly would pay a heavy cost in a lot of ways if he did so. And I think that you could say quite fairly the Russians are engaging in some pretty coercive diplomacy, as they call it here. But I don't believe that his intention truly is to invade the country. And primarily because I think his two biggest interests here in his demands, if you read between all the lines, is he wants firm assurances. He says he wants a treaty, but he knows he can't get that. But he wants firm assurances that we're not going to bring Ukraine into NATO, and he wants firm assurances that we're not going to put missiles into Ukraine, and that we're going to verify somehow that we're not putting Tomahawk missiles in the dual-use missile launchers that Obama installed in Romania and Poland for the anti-ballistic missile defense missiles. And those dual-use launchers, Putin has said repeatedly, are a serious concern. Well, Biden's already climbed down on both of those. And in his counteroffer to the Russians' demands, he said specifically, let's set up a regime of verification for those sites in Romania and Poland so you can come and inspect them and make sure yourself we're not installing Tomahawks. So for all their bluster, where the rubber meets the road, it looks like Biden is climbing down, and certainly I believe that should be good enough for Vladimir Putin. And the news came today that Putin has responded to Biden's response to Putin's demands, and we don't know the full extent of it yet, but we should find out soon. But diplomacy is ongoing, and I just don't think there's going to be some surprise Pearl Harbor type attack in the next few days. Yeah. Of course, it's the future,
you said that
and I can't predict for sure.
Yeah, you said that a couple weeks ago. Last Friday, you know, we saw all these press reports and a lot of urgency here in the U.S. and the international community that, like, well, this is it. They're ready to roll. Tanks are rolling. It's going to be any second now, any hour, any day, like maybe tomorrow. And that didn't happen. We've heard de-escalation. I don't trust Putin when he talks about de-escalation, but it's unnerving when it feels like the president, his Secretary of State, and Secretary of Defense, wherever he is right now, when they seem like they're gearing up for war. It's almost like they want a war. Is it some continuation of the fallout from 2014, a situation that you say the Obama administration created by trying to insert opposition leaders into power in Ukraine?
Right, absolutely. Well, on the first point, I think maybe they do want at least a limited war of some kind so that they can try to use that to prevent the Germans from following through all the way on the establishment of this pipeline. Why do the Germans need us to protect them from Russia if they're better and better friends with Russia all the time? This is the saying about NATO, is to keep the Americans in, the Germans down, and the Russians out. Well, how do we keep the Germans down if they're just shedding our influence and going their own way? And so breaking off this economic relationship with Russia seems to be a priority of the Americans. It just goes to show how cynical they are when economically interdependent relationship between Germany and Russia could be the most important thing in the world. As you know, the last two times those nations fought, it was the worst thing that ever happened. Something like 30 to 40 million people were killed on the Eastern Front in World War II. All of mankind should support that pipeline, and the Americans are trying to obstruct it. And yes, absolutely, this is the aftermath of the coup of 2014, which we know that President Biden was in on. He is named by Victoria Nuland in the famous F the EU phone call
with Jeff
that
Pyatt.
he is. That's right, with Jeffrey Pyatt, where they're plotting the coup. They're picking the new government. And Nuland says, I just got off the phone with Jake Sullivan, and he says that Vice President Biden is willing. He's going to do a conference call with the participants to give them an attaboy and make the deets stick. Oh, and so then his son, the reason Burisma hired Joe Biden's son for $1 million a year is that Burisma was in tight with the government that Joe Biden overthrew. And so they were afraid they were going to be persecuted by the new regime, and so they hired Biden's son as an insurance policy.
Unreal. Oh, I thought it was because of Hunter's storied history in the energy sector and his MBA from Harvard.
Must have been.
I guess that's not it.
Exactly.
Scott Horton, always good to talk to you. Thank you so much for bringing this perspective.
Thank you.